Same-sex marriage will be front and center at the Supreme Court this week. Justices will hear arguments in two major cases. Jan Crawford is at the court in Washington this morning. Jan, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Gail, and good morning, Charlie. These legal issues in these cases have really been brewing for years, and everybody knew it's just a matter of time before the Supreme Court was going to get involved. And now, in 2 days this week, the justices will hear these historic arguments that could define how states and the federal government define marriage. The court will hear the first case on Tuesday. It centers around a California law called Proposition 8 that banned same-sex marriage in 2008. Supporters of the law say the question of gay marriage should be left to the states.
The last thing we need is to shut down the debate, have the Supreme Court redefine marriage for everybody instead of letting us work through this question through our democratic institutions.
The second case comes on Wednesday and is a challenge to the Defense of Marriage Act, also known as DOMA. Passed by Congress and signed into law in 1996, it defines marriage as only between a man and a woman. The law prevents gay married couples from receiving federal benefits. They can't even file joint tax returns, even in states that recognize same-sex marriage. Opponents call the federal law unconstitutional because it treats same-sex couples differently.
It's wrong to exclude people from marriage, and America is ready for the Supreme Court to do the right thing.
The arguments coincide with a dramatic shift in public opinion. Recent polls show 58% now approve of gay marriage. Support shoots up to 81% with people under 30. 9 states and the District of Columbia now allow it. There's also been a shift in the Republican Party's long-held opposition. Earlier this month, Rob Portman became the first GOP senator to endorse same-sex marriage. And on Sunday, 2016 Republican presidential hopeful Rand Paul suggested he would be okay if the court struck down DOMA.
I don't want the government promoting something I don't believe in, but I also don't mind if the government tries to be neutral on the issue.
Now, as an example of the heightened public interest in these two cases, you've had people camping out since Thursday. Take a look at this, lining up to get a coveted seat here this morning, of course, in the snow inside the courtroom. These arguments not kicking off, of course, until Tuesday. And again, what many people think could be historic decisions. Gail and Charlie.
Jan Crawford, thanks.